make sure we get started here. I'm just watching the laptop, putting on my gloves, making sure we're going to get this connection that we need today. How's everybody doing? Happy Friday. Love Fridays. Thank God it's Friday. Well, let's see. Okay, now the video hasn't started and I can't see your chat. Hey there, someone said something. Hey, Leslie, darling. Let's see if the chat lights up for me. I'm just going to make sure the connection works so I can see you guys' comments here on my computer. Oh, it looks like it's starting. And the countdown. Skip the music. Bum, 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 bum. Okay, my name is Leslie Ohnstad. I am the creator and designer of Color Art Products, and I am your host of ColorPlay Live, Tuesdays and Fridays at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and Saturday mornings at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Yeah, that's tomorrow. Oh my goodness, what a week it's been. A lot of stuff going on here. Trying to, I was ready to pull those watercolors after that sale we had, and we had a 108-degree temperature. Hey, Cindy, how you doing, honey? 108-degree temperature in my garage. So now that the weather sort of stabilized, those are being pulled. They'll ship on Monday and Tuesday. Hey, Victoria. Yes, you're working and trying to watch. However, a lot of people have asked me if we had some of the watercolors left. I'm going to let you see this tray here if you're wondering what I'm talking about. You can contact me directly at 559-326-8718 if you're interested in the Twinkling H2 watercolors, the big, giant, big mama pots. Or you can email me at Leslie Onstead, OHNSTAD.ARTE@gmail.com. I'll send you an invoice and you can pay on it. These are watercolors that were made 18 years ago. And like I said, I have quite a few of them left. This is a good assortment of what we've got left. Okay. The other thing I've been working on is the mystery, figuring out the mystery boxes. And no, I don't have the entire tray up here, but there's some colors that, of course, I've only gone through a few of them. I discovered, hey, Connie. By the way, I just want to say something about the mystery boxes before we get started. Uh, I called a lot of you that had called dibs on certain colors, and the reality hit me the next morning as soon as I sent out that email campaign. We needed to offer a half box. So now on the website, there's a half a box, $250 value for $189. There's the whole box, $500 value for $375. And there's a couple people that bought a box and a half. Thank you very much for doing that. Everything's going to go to the cause. But as I just realized that, talking to everybody, 40% of everybody was like, hey, I'm on a real tight budget. What else can you do? That's what we did. So it's up on the website. You got options. They're all right there. Make sure you put in your focus color choice and focus metallic in the little box under your address, like the shipper notes, so I know what you want. Also, if you're a founding Color Art Club member now, it's not visible. You can't actually go to the member page yet. We're building a brand new member page, but there's already been a portal designed for the founding members to click on, go in, and you'll see this little item. It looks like a water droplet of purely pigment, a little icon there, and it'll say, send me my free sample of the week. So if you are placing an order for anything, make sure you just type in the search bar, free product. Now, only founding members, it will allow you in that portal. If you're not part of the Color Art Club, we're going to, like I said, we're rebuilding that page so people can join and work on getting their levels up as high as a founding member. But right now, founding members are part of that free sampling program. And so when you click that button, it adds it to your cart and it tells the shipper, please send me my free sample of the week. But you got to search for it this weekend until we get the member page created, because I want more information on what does it mean to become a ColorArte member, and that's going to take a lot of thought process and a lot of writing. And I don't want to hold up our sampling program for founding members, so just do a search. I think you just put free and it'll pop up. You'll see it. And it won't let you in if you're not a member. It'll only let you in if it recognizes you as a founding member. So, all right. So we got the mystery boxes, the twinkling H2Os. Oh, one thing I ran across, and this is now I'm going to show you. Hey, Sally, I ran across, I did have a nice birthday, Mike. Thank you for asking, sweetheart. Thank you for asking. When I was going through the pigments, I had, I was quite surprised. I think my process over the years has just been make the 12, put in a bed, put the jars on the rack, and forget about it. Well, how silly of me. And yeah, here's a bling it mix I made that I can't wait to get made for you guys. So tomorrow when I come on, I'll show you a whole collection of just mineral blends that I've made. And of course, they're going to go in the boxes. There's a few extra ones I'm going to make. Um, oh, thank you. Andy called you. Connie, that was Andy, and he is wonderful, isn't he? Connie Gray said she had a wonderful call from someone, a gentleman from ColorArte. Yes, he is absolutely sweetheart, dear. He is really a sweetheart. Thank you for pointing that out, Connie. We really appreciate it. So I think after me going through the lost archives of Leslie's Bling It samples, even, I'm going to probably create a brand new set for you guys out of this in the next week or so, a new Bling It set. And I got to tell you, I don't know about making an extra uh, new primary element set. I mean, I think we have enough, but man, there's wait till I'm gonna swipe them, Patty, and they are going in people's boxes. These are sample for boxes, but these were samples that never made it into the line. And so while I'm very resistant of making any more primary elements, um, these are really gorgeous, and I wonder how I ever skipped them. So I just wanted to take a look at these and see what they look like. I'm hoping I didn't even think about having some scratch paper here, something that I can paint them on so we can see what they look like. But yeah, you can see there's stuff all over the sides. Yeah, all over the sides. And when I opened this up, I said, oh my God, why did I not make this color? Now, you guys probably can't see unless I can get really underneath the light just right. All the blue that is shimmering in the top of these purples. This one's a weird color. It's like this baby brown, greeny yellow, but it's got violet and red and gold and pink sparkle in it. It's just crazy pretty. And it's called citronella, at least on the side of the jar. It does look a lot like a tanzanite. Let me see if I can get a good sized brush so we can just kind of do even just a little bit of water. Hey, Penny, how you doing, sweetheart? So even just a little bit of water, because I don't want to waste these. These are going to somebody. So I didn't want to actually sadly paint with them on camera with you guys. Oh my God. That is so crazy pretty. It's got a rhodamine and a blue, so it's going to be kind of a really unusual color. That is nutso looking. Oh yeah, everything will mix in resin, Evelyn. You'll have to pre-dissolve them in the art fluid, but that goes without saying. All primary elements will go into resin for you, right? Now here is that interesting yellowy brown color that wow, there's so much pink and violet in that. And again, I'm so worried you guys can't see the actual nuances of the sparkle as it dries, right? But as I turn it just slightly, you can see the pink and the violet and the gold and the violet and the every color of the rainbow in it actually. Okay, here's one I know that Catherine Mefford loves red. Now this looks more pinky to me. Oh, it's kind of a salmony coral. Ooh. Oh my gosh, guys. Okay. Sorry to taunt you. I can already tell what this is made with. This is made with a color we used in our peacock feather. And by the way, I can't get the material to make this anymore right now. So some lucky person is going to get their hands on this pinky peachy. We're going to split this in half. Hey, Janelle, I did have a good birthday. Thank you so much. But the source for this special peach tone kind of mica, wow. There was a while there were lots of different companies were sending me samples. It's definitely a pinky violet salmony cast. Okay, so I think I did this one first. Did I do this one yet? I don't know. You know, this is the one I did. Okay, so let's do this other one. They're both purple, right? Interesting. This one has a little bit, of course, in just water, it's kind of hard to get all the nuance, but this one has a little bit more of a flash of a blue to it. And you can see the rhodamine pink underneath, like the Shiros, and then the blue. This one's pretty. This is the one. That's gorgeous. Wow. Okay, I'm doing this for me. Sorry, I'm wasting time. And then this is just a mineral. I just want to mix it in something. There is no actual color in this one. This is not a primary element. This is just a mineral blend that I made. Look at this one. And so I plan on, like I said, I ran across a whole bunch of blingets, minerals. These are just minerals. You can put them in anything. There's no color at all. That is beautiful. There's a whole series of them. So I could probably come up with about 6 of them and make them available to you guys here in this one or this one, Victoria. This is the blue. That's right here, or the mineral, and it's a really sparkly mineral blend. Yeah, I'm going to have to figure out what and it only just says 408 pigment Peri Sparkle. I'm just calling it Peri Sparkle. Yes, yes, it's stunning. It's absolutely stunning. Yeah. I love that mineral blend. Well, if I can make some of this for you guys' boxes, I will. You know, I think I have the stuff here to do this. And they may not be 4-ounce tubs, but I've got smaller jars that I can do some bling-it samples for the mystery boxes, because you have to think about this, guys. I'm sitting in a laboratory here for the last 19 years. Yeah, I like this blue one too. And making stuff, putting on a rack, making stuff, putting on the rack. Once in a while, I sent the lab samples, but when you're translating from a smaller batch to a bigger batch, it'll match sort of, but not identical, right? You can get close. So most of these samples, it can be fun. It's stressful at times. I look at that cap. See the cap of that's really strong color in this one. Yeah, this is a really unusual. Oh my goodness, Catherine Mefford put her name on the bottom of this one when I first showed this off. Oh my goodness, Miss Mefford, see your name on this one? Holy shamoly. All right. So today, I kind of have an interesting thing for you. We'll see how this works. Yes, I love doing my twinkling H2O leaves and the painting, and we'll get back to that. But I kind of wanted to, thank you. Well, that's the first time I painted it out for you. We didn't paint it out when you said dibs. So, all right. So a couple weeks ago, I pulled out a painting that I'd started 18 years ago, right? And it's almost finished. By the way, I guess Fairy Art Mother and Sandy Sanders both want this. So we may be, I'm going to have to end up doing an art auction on this thing. And I'm not, the point is not to show you this piece. The point is to tell you this was 18 years ago. We're going to talk about something I was doing 33 to 35 years ago. Now, my business has been around for 29 years, and it was in the 80s I when I had discovered uh, this artist by the name of Robert Rivera, and he was doing ornamental work with gourds. And I just hung up with Becca Tweets, real estate lady. She goes, "You mean pumpkins?" I just hung up with her about an hour ago because she's trying to help me get somebody here locally here to help me find a house, right? And I said, "Well, they're not exactly what you would think of a pumpkin because they dry hard as a rock." Okay, so here's some statistics. In the Americas, that means North America, South America, probably Canada, gourds are found as far as dated back to 11,000 BC. In Thailand, they've been found as far back as 6,000 BC. In the Egyptian tombs, we're talking 2200 to 2400 BC. I'm looking at my notes over here. That's where they found tools and bowls and hair combs. They'd actually cut a gourd in half and fashion and smooth out a bowl for them to eat soup or drink water or make their eating tools or hair ornaments. And the wood is hard as rocks. I mean, it dries hard as it's harder than any wood I've ever seen. Um, in the in Australia, the Aborigines make something called a rain stick. I'm sure there's other cultures that do this rain stick, but it's a very long snake shaped gourd. And then they drill in one area and drop in all these seeds and rocks and beads, different sizes and shapes that'll make sounds. And then they put holes all the way up the line randomly in different spaces up this rain stick and stick in different like dowels, right? They'll drill a hole and put that size of dowel through the rain stick. So when the rain stick's turned upside down, the seeds and the rocks hit these little dowels and it makes the sound of rain. It's called a rain stick. And they were made out of ornamental gourds, just regular gourds. Robert Rivera became very well known in the 70s. I didn't discover him till the 80s, but he was famous for this modeling clay, his own modeling clay recipe. And think about now, all these people doing texture, making their own mixes, right? He had this modeling clay that would adhere directly to the gourd. And sometimes it was completely covered, and it looked like a little Aztec guy with big fat feet and his little hands coming down and big long earrings. He'd like put a hole here, and then the earrings would be made out of actual stones like turquoise and amethyst, right? Or he had gourds that he had did the clay, whatever it is that stuff is material is made out of, and it looked like he had built a city in the side of a mountain. Hey there, how you doing, Erica? And the side of a mountain made out of clay. Robert Rivera's pieces sold for 2 to 3 thousand bucks a piece in the 80s and 90s. Who knows what they sell for now? But I became absolutely obsessed with the gourds when I saw this. And so I drove in my little Honda to the pumpkin gourd farm, and uh, they had these long tables with holes, different size holes, graduated bigger and bigger, bigger along the side. And you would go grab gourds, and there was different barns where they were drying because you're not picking them fresh. They pick them and then they have a lot of drying time before they're cured and ready to pick up as an ornamental gourd. And so you grab your gourds in a wheelbarrow and then go and uh, Sally, would you say if we ordered a box already, do we need to do it on an order form? Sally, I didn't have you on the wish list. I didn't call you, or did I call you? Now, the mystery box is up on the website. If you want to do a half a box, a whole box, some people have actually done a box and a half. Um, Go up there and make sure when you check out that you're putting your focus color or focus metallic on there. If you want me to call you directly, Sally, I'm happy to do so. But I know for a fact I didn't have you on my list um, of what colors you wanted. So it says if you ordered a box already, then maybe somebody missed it when you mentioned it in one of the lives. But I'm here, sweetheart, and they're not all sold out. And I have so much stuff. One of these days, I have to walk through and give you a tour of all the stuff in my shelves, from the glass and the rocks and the seashells and the paint and the rubber stamps, you name it. There's so much stuff here. So, anyway, I became obsessed. I drove to the pumpkin gourd farm, got my gourds in my wheelbarrow, wheeled them up there to the table, and then whatever hole it fits through, they mark the price, right? And I remember driving home with so many gourds in my car, I couldn't see out of the back hatchback driving home. Now, when I moved, I uh, I don't think I took them all when I moved here, but I moved here 19 years ago. And upstairs in one of the corners, I have some amazing gourds that are raw. Well, they're well cured, but uncut. And they've been curing 35 years since I bought. I mean, I bought them 35 years ago, 33, 35 years ago. They've been sitting upstairs for 19. I think they've cured long enough. Okay. So I want to show you a couple little pieces. One I've showed before. A friend of mine named Betsy, she just took this ornamental gourd. It says Betsy. I'm trying to look at the date on there. If anybody can see the date. Retreat 21. Oh, maybe it was 2008. I think it was February 2008 is what it's got on here. So now gourds are toxic when you want to. Thank you, Sally. Thank you, Sally. This area in here is toxic. Okay, all the fiber and all the stuff that's inside the gourd, you've got to be masked up even more so than working with resin. You don't want to risk this stuff getting in your lungs. And so there is a process. You can see lots of places online that'll teach you how to cut them and clean them safely. Okay. But what she did, this is so interesting. She cut the gourd. It's shaped up, I'm sure here. Sometimes they're a figure eight gourd, like a full figure eight. So the top of the figure eight, she cut into kind of a fan, right? It's got this fan shaped. And I love the colors in here. Now, what's interesting is the flesh in here, inside here, the flesh of the gourd. All she did was rub on primary elements and they stuck. Now it's more of a battered, kind of a pounded, soft metallic finish. It's really gorgeous. On the outside, what she did, you see these patterns. She put on a glue, just a clear glue that dried with a tack time, and it created the pattern. And then this is Stargazer rubbed with, I know this is a copper, but I don't know what the third color is. And now Stargazer is one of our colors. It is not a chameleon. Thank you, sweetheart. You want a whole box or half box, Miss Dalton? Uh, it's now Stargazer. When you guys are looking at chameleons that you're buying from companies that say chameleon color. Okay, I'm going to a little explanation on this because this looks like it's shifting, but this is not a chameleon mica. And I'm going to try to explain why. So the chameleon micas that are sold for the 8, 10, 12, 20 bucks a gram, it's a coating that's on the mineral, right? Well, if you mix your interference and color at just the perfect balance, and I've only had two, and Stargazer was the happy accident of all happy accident. You can create your own chameleon shifting. Yes, the half boxes are up on the website, ready for sale, sweetheart. Just go in and go to the ColorPlay deals page, and you will see the mystery boxes. And then when you click on it, you'll have an option of the size that you want, sweetheart. Okay. And so what she did is she put on this Stargazer. Now, Stargazer is technically a blue, violet, and green mica, but you see how it looks like it's a chameleon shifting as I'm turning it in the light? That is simply chameleon rubbed on a glue, and certain glues, you have to experiment with it. I forget the name of the darn glue she used. Certain glues will have like what they call a tack period, like 6 to 12 hour tack period, where you can rub on a mineral and it adheres and becomes part of the finish. So this thing is absolutely stunning what she did. I thought I was amazed by this thing, and it looks all shiny, but yet that's just the shimmer of the mica. This is just glue with it rubbed on and a cute little ribbon that she put on. Well, when I got back from the gourd farm and I saw some of Robert Rivera's pieces up front, okay, up close and everything that I saw carved was recess carving, like they're cutting a complete hole all the way through, right? All right. So what I did, and my idea was, what if I could draw an image? I'm going to flip this camera over here for you guys. Come on, flip, dude. What if I could draw an image? I took a Dremel tool. You see all these little lines? Those are all done with the Dremel tool, carved around the image. The entire gourd is done this way. And all those lines in the black were done by me. I took a Dremel tool. It must have taken me 3 months to carve this backdrop in there so my hibiscus would look raised, right? So my crocus would pop. Other crocuses here. And then the butterfly, I was terrified to do something with, and I said, someday, maybe I'll be able to paint this thing. This gourd is 33 years old. It was 33 years ago when I did the background carving. The paint was right around when the Primary Elements came out in 2003, and I put it in Future Floor Polish. And I wasn't that adept at painting, but I tried my best to try to get this to work. Well, I want to paint on this, okay? I had showed, it was this morning when I was FaceTiming with Kathleen McGee and Catherine Mefford and Sherry Ellis. And I said, yeah, look over here, look at that gourd. And it was sitting on a stand, and they went, wow, that's beautiful. And I thought about it, and I thought about this all morning. It took so much dirt was in here. I'm embarrassed to say how much was dirt in there. And at one time, if you look up the close-up, see how it kind of looks like a little copper in there? I tried to hand rub copper mica in the grooves to try to get some kind of texture. So today, I'm going to experiment on my very precious, completely non-finished gourd. Now, what I've done is, one of the problems of painting directly on the gourd is you've got that dark wood, right? How do you get that color to really show up? And so I took some aqueous white. I need to balance this on something. Let me see if I can't get something back here to, sorry guys, I gotta figure out how we're gonna do this. The tray of pigments actually was holding it up. I may have to put that tray of pigments behind it again because these little jars are not strong enough to hold it. I can't believe I'm gonna have to do this, but this may stabilize it when I turn it over. So what I did is I took some straight aqueous white, put it in a little cup with a tiny bit of varnish, and I know it looks a little sloppy, but I painted a couple areas down here with the white so I could bring an area and let color pop on top, okay? Now, it's just an experiment. I just did it in a few spots. I did it on the random stems that weren't connected to anything. And I want to paint on them. And if this is going to work, we're going to try her a butterfly. I've been terrified to do this butterfly for 30 something years since I carved it. I know I don't want to make it gaudy or anything, but I do want to see what happens if I take some purely pigments and a little bit of varnish. Now that's the natural color of the gourd over here. This you can tell I rubbed a little copper mica on it. So that's why half of this looks really copper and half of this looks real kind of natural. So I know me and my weird projects, how I'm going to get this thing to sit stable for me to paint is beyond me at this point. I'm going to mix up a little color though. So I have my white in case I need it. All right. I want to start with a really bright green. So I'm going to use the Venomous Viper. It's a few drops of Venomous Viper in there. Varnish is going to be my application because it's clear. Just a little bit of varnish because we know our colors are very translucent. Okay. And then I kind of want a little bling bling in these. So I'm thinking of just kind of going standard. I'm looking at my interferences here. I'm going to try some interference green in this. Put it in a bowl. Who said put it in a bowl? Put it in a bowl. Oh, I don't have a bowl up here. The closest thing I've got would be to sit it on this, but then that could tip that over. It's got water in it. Put it in a bowl. What do I have here that you guys are so good? I don't have a bowl. I've got the top of a 5-gallon lid. This thing may stabilize it if I turn it upside down. A bowl on a bowl, you're right, because then you can turn it slightly. I don't have anything like a bowl here. I did have a notebook here that I could put something up on a slant, but I have so much stuff now. Here it is. Here's the notebook. Get it, Leslie. I don't know if this is going to help. Yeah, this is a really cool idea. And watching me be brave and paint this thing after all these years, I thought I'd really going to put myself out there. I promised you guys this year I didn't want to stop finishing projects. So, all right, I'm going to get the gourd off. I'm going to get this tray off. That was kind of a silly idea. This may help only because it's going to work at it. It has a slant to it. And I don't know if the ridge on this thing will help hold it. You guys must think I'm nuts. 20 homegrown. You have 20 homegrown gourds, 12 years. A big cooking pot. But then it would sit too high, fair art, Mother. I'm really worried about how high this thing would sit. I mean, this is the perfect level to do it, but I'm going to test the colors on these white areas first. I'm going to test one. If it comes out right, then we're going to paint the butterfly white. We'll give it a few minutes to dry while I add color to these others. That's the plan, right? So maybe here, I could turn it upside down. It doesn't have to be the right side up, right? I'm just painting on it. Okay, so I've got a little bit of this Venomous Viper. I'm going to add a tiny bit of some of the Bling It interference green, the ultra fine stuff. Got to have a little shimmer, right? And these are just little baby stems. You have some gourds yourself, Evelyn? You said you only have a couple left. You collect gourds too? We have some gourd collectors in the house. Holy moly. How is that possible? Okay, I'm just going to I just want to test this out. I don't know if the Purely Pigments color is going to, now, oh, wow, okay. I guess we're not going to have any problem with that showing up on top of the aqueous white. So like I said, I just poured some aqueous white in the cup, put a few drops of varnish on it, painted it on there, and if John was here, he would say, eyeglass alert. And this is the venomous viper. 33 years ago when I carved all this inlay in here. 33 years ago. Now let's just, seeds, what kind of seeds? Oh, you guys are talking about how you've grown them from seed or not. Can you call me? Yes, ma'am. I certainly may. Now, just for grins and giggles, I want to see how bright this color holds up on a regular stem. I think I'll pick the bottom of this just to test this because I can always touch it up. Oh, shoot, didn't mean to do that. Okay, hang on. I got my bamboo skewer with a little paper towel. So if I make a mistake, I can go in there and mop it up. That wasn't what I intended to do. I just went, let me paint, and slopped it on the place you don't want to paint. So yes, it's going to be a lot softer on that brown. If you want the vivid color, now it depends. Some gourd artists do like a more natural look. But I think because of the brown, that color is going to get lost, right? Where this is going to hold up. So this has an aqueous white base and then painted with the venomous viper, little bit of varnish, and some interference green. All right, so we know that that works. Let's see if I can find any other green areas that are going to be easy to paint. Well, we've got the opportunity. And I got some of this venomous viper made. That's the only thing about doing this kind of painting is you kind of pick a color and then do all the pieces that you want painted in that, and then you go, okay, I'm going to do this section, and they're all going to be painted in this, and so it can be kind of boring to watch as a video, and see, and after all this is done, I can go in and touch up that black background. Just kind of rub in some more bronze or copper in there and give it kind of a subtle sheen. But at the time, people thought I was crazy. They didn't do, I guess, recessed carving like this. And like I said, it took me months to carve all those little lines you see with a little tiny Dremel tool. But I was so proud of this thing, and then I became terrified to paint it. Because what if I screwed it up? Right? What if it didn't turn out as pretty as I saw it in my head? How many of us do that to ourselves? We have this expectation in our brain what we think it's supposed to look like. I got a little runaway paint here I'm going to get out with my little bamboo skewer and my wet paper towel. There we go. So kind of keep my detail here. Okay, well, I feel brave enough, even though it's going to be, I'm so nervous to do this. I'm going to paint my butterfly white, and we'll go for it. We're going to have to give it a few minutes to dry, of course. I have a nice little angle brush, and it's just some aqueous white in varnish so it adheres, because remember, this is as hard a wood as you can imagine. They found them in tombs as far back as from 2200 BC. Think about that. They're utensils. They made bowls, hats, hair clips, Forks and spoons. I kind of don't want to lose my edge here, my little design where I've carved it in. So I'm going to make sure I don't lose that as part of my design and just make sure I'm giving a nice white backdrop to the area I want to paint. And it's not going to take that long. Remember, varnish dries really quickly. And this is just to give us a way for the color really show up. I'm still terrified to paint this. I have no idea what color I want to do. I mean, one of those blues that we played with might be pretty, put in varnish. I love to do varnish glazing with primary elements. I think it's gorgeous. And one thing we learned when we did that big sunset piece, we know that primary elements is famous for re-wetting itself. Well, Joe Sonia varnish makes it permanent. So when you're putting primary elements in the Joe Sonia varnish and you use it as a glaze, it is permanent and will not re-lift if you have to go over and do a top coat, top varnish. Maybe you have to paint white over it in certain areas. The Joe Sonia won't let that happen. It doesn't allow it to lift. And so that was a nice happy accident that day we discovered that. So I'm just gonna, like I said, gonna get my white in here. I sat down here to test this a little bit earlier to do the test on those stems, and something happened. Oh, my phone didn't have a charge. I don't know. I had to run around and do other stuff, and I ran out of time because I kind of wanted to have this area painted in. But you can see I'm intentionally missing the areas where the cuts are, where the carving is. I just want a clean backdrop for my paint to show up. I can't believe how many little baby carved lines I put in here. I mean, this was a lot of work 30 something years ago. I was obsessed with Robert Rivera. I was obsessed with doing gourd art. And this is about, I had to guess it was about 5 years before I started my company. I was just a chronic artaholic like the rest of you guys. Love playing with color, love playing. I didn't care if I was making my own terrariums or doing beaded jewelry. I just wanted to get my hands in something. Catherine Mefford's like that. She's got beads and cloth, and we saw a little bit of what Catherine had in her studio today on a FaceTime. Man, that girl has old clay. But most of this over the years, if you've been doing this long enough, we become collectors. The thing is then when are we going to do something with it? I've been looking at this thing for, like I said, how many years? Okay, so his tail needs to be a different color. That's a pretty big tail for a butterfly. But that's how I carved him when I carved him. Oops. Don't be sloppy, Leslie. Take your time. Just glide across the top. I just want to work this quick and get it right across the top while my hands are feeling nimble here. All right. Get that little bit of white off of here where we don't want it. Just a clean paper towel soaked with water. And my little bamboo skewer here. Direct the cleanup. Yeah, you guys. Okay, so if I wanted to do turquoise, 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 pink, pink, I don't know, I'm imagining this kind of a reddish gold. Maybe this could be reddish gold. This could be the pink, the pink, the pink. This could be turquoise. I can do a turquoise, 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 pop of pinkish gold here. I mean, top of this reddish gold would be back up here and reddish gold here. I don't know. I've just got to, because you have to think out loud what you're going to do. But look at this, kids. It's already dry. What I just put on is completely dry already. By the way, make sure your brushes get soaked in water when you're done. So if I was going to do some kind of pinky color, I do have that color from Catherine Mefford's collection here. That's kind of a peachy pink. It's not too hot of a pink, but it's a subtle pink. We got to be brave, guys. She's right. Patty Simmons says when she sees me be brave, it gives her courage. And we just need to go for it. When I started doing the shadows on those leaf things Saturday, I was so proud of myself. I just went, okay, go for it. I know it's supposed to be purples and blues and shadows are dark, funky, gray blues, and just go for it. And boy, I was surprised that just by going for it, how pretty it turned out. So, okay, we're going to get some colors mixed up here. I'm going to take a drop of my cotton candy. It's been long enough fairy art weather since I used cotton candy, so I should be able to be allowed to use it again. There's about 5 drops. Oh, you guys didn't see me put it in there. I'm sorry. There's about 5 drops of cotton candy in here. I'm going to steal a little bit of Catherine's, really, because you're not going to need much. You don't need much color for an area like this. It just has such a beautiful peach undertone. I couldn't help myself. And then just a couple drops of the varnish. You don't need much, right? Just to get it to adhere. Now, where did I say I wanted my pink? So I'm going to do my pink here, here, and here. Very basic. Not going to try to do a rainbow thing, which is very out of character for me because I'm this rainbow girl. Now, I really, really, really do not want to use my watercolor brush for this, but this is the very best brush I got. But you can tell that I'm going to have to get another one of these. Silver black velvet paintbrush, best paintbrush in the world for detail. And you get it wet. I know it looked all hairy when it was dry, but it comes to that perfect point. But for what we're doing here, if I have trouble at all getting that on there, I think I want a little bit more of Catherine's salmon ready, pretty red pink. By the way, I also found a tub of Venetia red, Miss Catherine. So let's see what happens when we do this. We know the green's going to was nice and bright, all right? And we know that cotton candy is nice and bright. So I don't drag my arm over it. I'm going to go top to bottom, right? Wow. Look how bright that is. Okay, this may be too bright of a butterfly, but I've already committed. Where's my little mop up? I need my little mop up thing. Even though that's going to be where the orangey gold goes, still don't mean I want the pink there. So let's get that area painted. That's interesting. I never thought I'd get this bright a color. The gourd, anybody, and there's a few guys here that have played with the ornamental gourds. That brown is really strong to cover up. And so that little bit of glaze of varnish with aqueous white is perfect to add a level of color. We'll get the pink in here. Like I said, I've committed myself. This is what I'm going to do. I do know that if I really wanted to, I could paint over it again. That's one thing I've learned about this piece. It's been hanging out for years. And I have painted the crocuses and the hibiscus a few times as I tried to find other ways to get the color to sit on it. And the final one was feature floor polish. That's why it looks so shiny. So even though I don't really care how I painted it, I mean, it was literally yellow. It was like no artistic balance or whatever. But I don't know. I shouldn't be putting down my work, but it was fun. Now, if I was going to give a shadow to this, I would come over and add some kind of shading. But let's continue on. So I wanted to do some kind of orangey gold. That bit of honey is a really pretty color. So let's get this camera down so you can see me mix this. Let's get a little bit of honey, purely pigments. Thank you, sweetheart. Considering I had no idea what I was doing 30 something years ago, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I put 5 drops of the bit of honey, right? And this unusual color that the side is marked citronella, this color, I think would be really pretty mixed with that bit of honey, right? Add a little shimmer. We'll find out what this thing's do. It seems like it's got a lot more yellow than I thought. Remember when we painted it on the paper, but it's going to add a little color to it. Maybe too yellow, and if that's true, I think it's a little too yellow for my taste. I am going to add a couple drops of the Aztec yellow, purely pigments, just to warm it up a bit. 2 drops of that. So it's 5 drops of the bit of honey, and it's 2 drops of the Aztec yellow. Kind of give it a little mix. Like you don't need much. Ooh, that's a pretty color. Now that is a pretty color. Ooh. Nice bit of honey base with just the warmth of the Aztec yellow and whatever's in that citronella. This thing is sparkling like crazy. All right, well, I've got a different brush. See how this is going to paint. Can you guys see me? Oh, you guys can't see me do that. I'm so sorry. I didn't move the camera. My apologies. I got to remember to move the camera back and forth. Mix, then move. Paint, then move. Then mix, then move. Then paint, then move. And we will all paint together. Bam. Yeah, wood burner tool is how we burnt the images. And then I discovered this little Dremel tool so I could carve all this back out. And so it would raise my piece. I didn't know what I was doing, Dee. I was just like obsessed. I wanted a raised carved image on my piece. And I was determined to get a raised carved image on my piece. So let's do more of this warm color here. Now I'm rethinking if turquoise is really, because if it was because this is kind of coming out matte, we still need to bring a way to get our shimmer back in here, which we can, but I'm liking this color combination here, and I'm not sure. Maybe I could do pink to some kind of blue violet and not just go like a total turquoise blue. It may be too harsh of a transition. Oh, damn it. I didn't mean to do that. Sorry for the damn it. I'm going to go ahead and do this yellow I got on my brush. And then to warm it up, and give it a little bit more of a accent of shading, I can take that pink that I mixed up and use it right here to give it the idea of a shading. So I'm not wasting that pink paint that I made. Plus the painting looks more real when all the colors somehow are mixed and used in it. So that's adding more depth by using that pink down my by my bit of honey. Same thing here. We'll kind of give it a little bit of a highlight just on one side. Now, a lot of people complain, oh, it's not opaque enough. Well, you can add enough color to get it opaque. But if you're using dingy, opaque base that has a lot of fillers in it, you're never going to get this translucency to be able to go over the top of that yellow with that pink and get that beautiful little glow line right there. Like we've got these little glow lines popping up. I'll do it up here one more time. It's a little bit too much paint. You only want a tiny bit on your brush, and you're just doing the suggestion of the accent, right? But suddenly the butterfly looks more dimensional. Now I've got different sections. There's another section here. Now instead of doing the straight line, I'm going to run my little highlight on this end. Wipe my brush off and try to blend this in to the yellow. So it doesn't look like these three little perfect lines in a row. See, there's more accent there. If I feel like I need a little more yellow, I can go right on top of that pink with a little bit of the bit of honey yellow until I get the look that I'm looking for. Don't they? But I think the trick is the aqueous white, because if you paint it directly on the gourd, it's too dark. Way, way, way too dark. Okay, now I've got myself in a little bit of a pickle because I'm kind of enjoying the color combination that I'm doing. So I don't really want to stray away. I'm wondering, one of the, that salmon color that I showed you, the primary element that's in this, just that straight salmon will give us a different look. Okay, I'm going to try something different with no purely pigments. I'm just going to mix a little bit of this salmon color up because the mica that's in it is so gorgeous, it's going to dry to a different color. Remember, it came out really pink, so I only need a little tiny bit in the cup. We're just painting a little area here. Just a drop of the varnish. That's all I need is a drop of that varnish. Well, I way too much varnish there. I don't even think that's going to be strong enough. Let me get a little bit more pigment on my brush. Catherine, every time I put it in there, Catherine's probably going, no, I want that color. Sorry, honey. I just know it's going to do really well with this, even if I'm, now part of me wants to accent this, but we've got to figure out what the rest of the color plan is. So, ooh, I'm kind of liking this peachy pink color. Only a little. You just need a little bit, that pinky peach color. I don't need my butterfly to be a rainbow. I need my butterfly to be interesting. So I'm going to do no turquoise. I'm going to do a really subtle peachy pink. May take a couple layers because there's not much color in this little mix. That one drop of varnish is going pretty far. Catherine's like, only a little bit. Yeah, and this needs a second layer. I put a little bit more of the pigment directly on my brush, like just my moist brush, and now I'm just painting pure primary elements, almost like a creamy paste on here with literally no varnish in it. One more little bit of primary elements on my wet brush. Will it work one more time? Yes, it looks like it is. She's a lot prettier than if I'd gone blue and turquoise and everything else. Okay, and I'm gonna put some bit of honey in here. I'll let that dry just a bit. Now remember when I put the pink, that cotton candy pink mixture here on top of the yellow, it made it darker. So I'm going to try to do the same thing by trying to put a little bit of honey on top of this. Will it work? Doesn't look like it wants to. It's not oranging it up as much as I thought it would. So I might need a drop of, what am I going to do to make that a little bit darker pink? Dancing fuchsia is too strong. But since I've already used up my pink, I'm going to add a drop of dancing fuchsia. Okay, that was interesting. There we go. There's some dancing. If you don't need much of the dancing fuchsia. I'm going to mix some of that dancing fuchsia in with this pinky coral color. I know you guys are probably going to think she's off her rocker. What is she doing? But look what happens when I accent my pink area with a slightly darker pink. And I'm going right over that bit of honey. It's okay. Get a clean brush. Get it to model in with that. I just want some contrast. I'm just looking for contrast. It'll be a lot easier on this one because I don't have to deal with putting a bit of honey on it. But that dancing fuchsia almost looks like I'm adding a red accent. And it's just a little bit of the dancing fuchsia mixed with that cotton candy. Almost looks wine on this one. And it'll probably look a little bit wine on this one too once we could get to the right camera angle. This is going to look a little strange because I had that bit of honey down there. But I can even push some of that off while it's still semi-moist and not completely set up if I don't like it. And then grab some of my dancing fuchsia mix and go right over it. It's almost like adding a wine, how it sits on top of that. And I don't mind if it goes into the carved area now, because I'm just looking for some contrast. Just a little contrast. Now, this is not going to shimmer until I put something on top of it. Varnish, resin, believe it or not, future floor polish will make it shine. So I have a choice to do a resin top coat or not, but this is more interesting than me trying to, you know, make it a rainbow butterfly. Not my thing. Now, before I would clean it up, I'd make sure all my little white marks are marked out of there, or maybe what I can do is take a little bit of honey. Can I get a little bit of honey in there right at the tip? There you go. And then that white's gone. Just want to touch it up. Make sure there's no white paint hanging out there. Now, I normally, he's got Yeah, that Future Floor Polish is a nice finish. You wanna let it completely dry, and then to really do a Future Floor Polish finish, it needs to be laying totally flat. It's gonna be hard to do on the camera, but the Future Floor Polish is completely clear, and you can just paint it over the top and let it dry. So, let's see what color. I don't mind a little green in his tail. You think I'm nuts with a little green in his tail. Uh, but I don't have, of course, I could have left it brown and been just fine because the natural color of the wood is going to want to lend itself to a brown. I wonder if I've got anything that's hickory style color up here that I can use. I do not. I'm going to have to make something that's kind of browny all on its own. Oh, come on, where's my other purely browns? Rusted oxide might get it brown, but you'd have to add a little more blue to it. Where is my chocolate drop when you need it? I've now moved all the, I think this is, oh, that's black. I moved all the purely pigments on the back table. They used to be sitting on the front table, but we ran out of workspace. There's too many of them now. By the way, John Niedermeyer, but I know he's not here today. He found a great system to store his purely pigments. It's one of those things that you use to hang nail polish on the wall when you go to the nail salon. I think they said it only cost 20 something bucks. Everybody was really excited about it. I'm really struggling to find my chocolate drop, guys. I don't know where it is. Wait a minute. This says drop, so it can't be black, but it looks black. The bottom says drop. I don't know if that's chocolate drop or not. To back myself up, I've got some rusted oxide. 20 bucks for 6 pieces of what, sweetheart? What you selling? There's so many talented people in the room. So I want to make my bit of honey a little bit browner. I'm going to use the color I've already got. So I'm going to add Of course, my golden nickel is really thick. I have the original batch that you guys, very first buyers got, which it's not that thick anymore. And I got to make sure this really is chocolate drop. No, it's not. It doesn't look like a chocolate at all. What the heck is this bottle that says drop on the bottom of it? Oh, it is. It's got some kind of chocolate. Okay. It looks like it's a brown. Just want one drop of a dark brown in here. That's really not helpful, but okay. So I'm going to try to cheat a little bit. Let's get back to our tail. I like the idea of the bit of honey the way it is. And I'm going to paint it first with like a bit of honey base. So it brings up the light. Actually, that looks like that's part of the butterfly. That is part of the butterfly. I think it's supposed to be like what this piece is down here. I don't have any of that pink ready because I mixed it up with this. So I'm not sure what happens if I try to use the pink as shading on this area like I did on all the other ones. Hey, nabbit, I really don't want to ruin you. That'll work a little bit. Last thing I want to do is make unnecessary paint I don't need. This is the same thing you guys would be doing at home. You'll be using what you have. So then here is my bit of honey base on the body. Get my little area here cleaned up. Okay, now I have those other colors in there, right? So I got that little bit of brown and that little bit of rusted oxide, or actually the golden nickel, which has a lot of rusted oxide in it. And I'm just going to kind of add a little highlight. This one's kind of hard to get at. Sorry, guys. Painting in midair, holding onto it and hoping that it sits straight while you're brushing with your right hand. But I'm going to add a little accent on the body, so it's just not a flat, straight color. Now it looks dry enough to go over with the future. I'll be honest, I don't know if I have a bottle of it at my feet, to be honest. I have my green here. I was going to put a little green in the body. See what happens if I add a little green to the base of his tentacles. Just so it looks different. Okay, just a little different. I mean, he is a bug, right? All right, so let's see. I don't know. Let me look around at my feet. I did that future floor polish demonstration for you guys, but I think it got moved off this area. And I don't have it to demonstrate right now. I do not. Okay. We will have to come back here and revisit the concept of doing the future top coat. Okay. So, we're playing with gourds, Casey. What's happening? This is a gourd I carved 33 years ago, a recess carving. So just to see what happens if we try to go over the future floor polish. I don't know what's going to happen. And most of my colors are intermixed, right? But just to see what happens with this color, Catherine's color, made with that. Thank you, sweetheart. We were talking about the boxes. So now if I'm painting over an area that's already painted, you got to be careful not to put too much paint. But it's not looking bad on top of that area that had the future. And I can get rid of those weird gold lines I did. You know, why would their light be on both sides? Why would they be on both sides? But I keep calling it Catherine's color. Catherine, it really is a peach. You may want something that is more actual red. You and Sherry, of course, Sherry is the big orange girl. So I've been trying to keep eye on anything that looks like a dark spice pumpkin for her. So I'm just going over areas here to see what it looks like painting over with the varnish and that one color we have made. But all it's going to do is add subtleness to what I've already painted, right? So yeah, and I even drilled holes in it because I thought someday I might put Swarovski crystals in here, right? Why not? Okay, so, oh, look. You can't say that I don't get into my color. So that's the broadcast for today. You guys can see how red my face is. Oh, my face is red. All right, I'm going to act like it's not there. I know darn well I have to get a little soap and water, get that off my mouth. I know, guys. So for those that missed the intro, if you think Dancing Fuchsia is a strong color, Dancing Fuchsia is a strong color. I know, it's all good. Thank you, guys. Okay, so recap. The mystery boxes are available in half sizes for $189, $250 value, full size, $500 value for $375. Some people are buying a box and a half. A full box is going to have somewhere around 24 ounces or more of primer element custom bling combinations that I've made over the years, plus all kinds of stuff that I'm finding around here. I had one lady that says, I love Shooting Star. And I know for a fact I have a box with about 12 bottles of Shooting Star. So I know I can stick one of those in her box. The watercolors, there's still about half of them left. So if anybody's interested, go ahead and email me at Leslie Onstead, OHNSTAD.ARTE at gmail.com, or go ahead and I'll get back to you, Dee. We'll do a half box for you, sweetheart. You can buy it online, or we can do it directly. You can sell me the money, but any way we do this, yeah, I always paint my boobs, Catherine. I'm terrible at getting my body in the paint. Body painting's normal for anybody over the age of 55, right? Even for men. Okay, I'll leave Mike out of the discussion. Sorry, Mike. Um, founding members. If you've not logged in and looked, all your accounts are set at 10% off. And if they're not, message me and I'll fix it, because it took me hours. I think it was like 6 hours going through every one of y'all's accounts, setting you up at a 10% at daily off on anything you ever purchase from us. If you want to save an extra 5% on the stuff you're saying, sorry, the mystery boxes don't count. Okay. They're not going to be discounted by any of the codes or the gift cards. But if you go in and place a regular order, use your house 10% off. It's not a code, it's automatically applied. You log in, instead of $15.99, you see $14.39 on something. It's just already set. Your price is set. Then you add an affiliate code for 5%, you just save 15% off your order. So as far as the sampling program, I'm repeating for the latecomers, it's not visible on a page, but if you search and just type free, you're going to see something, that free product sample or free sample product. I forget which one it is. If you're a founding member, it'll work. Click on that. It'll take you to a private page for members only, and click to add it to your cart. Doesn't cost you a dime. It prints out on your invoice, please add my free sample of the week. So the sampling program is set up. As soon as I get the new membership drive page set up, of what are the perks, what do you get at joining, what do you get at $1,000, what do you get at 2,000, what do you get at 3,000. I have to write all that fluffy perk stuff to get the page set up, and I haven't had time to do that. I've been working on this Twinkling Each Toes and getting this mass mystery box idea of what we're going to do put together. But if you're a founding member and you're just in, before you check out, search and type free. It's either going to say free sample product or free product sample. It's one or the other. Click on it. You're a member. It's going to let you in. If you're not a member, it's going to say you're not allowed to access this page. You must be logged into your account to do it. So don't do it as a guest purchase and then text me and say, why is it not showing up? You're not logged in. You get samples with every order. As a founding member, Casey, and as a top tier platinum level, they're part of the sampling program. So every order. Now, I had a lady yesterday who wants to do the mystery box by Zelle, which I appreciate the cash directly. You can send it to me, 559-326-8718. And she wanted to do her Purely Pigments with her gift card. So what she did is she placed 2 orders. Guess what? She gets to ask for that sample twice. It doesn't matter. You put it on every order that you're placing. The only thing is, you don't want to bring up your freight too high. But in this case, the mystery box is going to take a couple of weeks to get these things packed and ready and made for you guys. And the Purely Pigment order that she wanted to place would ship in a couple of days. So it made sense that she had a free sample on both her orders. What else am I missing? Mystery boxes. There are over 50% of the Twinkling H2Os left. If you're interested, please let me know. No, the samples are not sent to founding members. The samples get a sample every time they place an order. Casey said she just thought they were sent to members. No, we wouldn't do that. That would cost us extra freight. But it doesn't cost us anything extra other than a little jar or something to put it in an order when you place it with us. So I think that's it for now. I'm going to see you guys tomorrow. I hope you've enjoyed my journey down memory lane. I promised you 2024 was about finishing pieces of art and me getting ready to go through the house and look at what I'm looking at around me and getting ready to move has definitely made me dig out some dinosaur pieces that I've been sitting on. This was 30 something years ago when I carved this thing. And do a little work on it. So the art is never over till you say it is. Thank you guys for joining me. Love having you here. And you're as good for me as I hope that. I mean, I'm learning so much from you, and hopefully you can learn a little bit from me. Love you guys. Not yet, Joan. The week I planned on pulling them, we had 108-degree weather here, and it means it's 112 in my garage. They will be going out Monday and Tuesday because the weather sort of normalized, and then our bodies have acclimated to the heat because Fresno went from a beautiful high 60 to 70 degrees to suddenly 106 to 108 outside. And like I said, my garage was 112 that week. So I wasn't going to pull them. Anyway, love you guys. See you tomorrow, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. This is Leslie Ohnstad. Hugs and kisses. Bye, you guys.